Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another interview on the Southern Cross Combat YouTube channel or podcast feed, depending if you're just listening to this. I'm your host, Joel Rasmussen, and today we're talking to one half of the Eternal 96 main event, one half of the Eternal middleweight title fight. We are talking to the challenger, Mr. Blair Bretag, out of Compton Training Centre in Queensland. It was great to talk to Blair. This is the first time he and I have spoken to each other in like a sit-down format. I've done a post-fight with him before. He's a man coming down from light heavyweight. He's fought at both middleweight and light heavyweight before. He's coming off a big win at light heavyweight. He's come back down to middleweight, and he will challenge Darcy Vendy for the throne. We talk about the fight. We talk about Darcy and what he makes of that matchup. We talk about trading partner of his, John Martin Fraser, having fought Darcy before and how that kind of affects this matchup. And we talk about how he skipped amateur and just went straight to pro, which is very funny and very cool. It was a lot of fun talking to Blair. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, like, comment, and subscribe. Blair himself is pretty strong social game and strong YouTube game. A link to his YouTube channel will be in the description down below. But you are watching on the Southern Cross Combat YouTube channel. If you enjoy this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I got some cool stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I got a really cool video that I'm working on, just chipping away at, just editing. Hopefully that will be out in like a week and a half. And there's some other cool stuff I've really got in the pipeline that I'd like to do. But if there's anything you'd like to specifically see, let me know in the comments below. But for now, without further ado, please enjoy my interview with Blair Bretag. G'day, Joel Rasmussen from Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of his title fight at the upcoming Eternal, I'm talking to Mr. Blair Bretag. Blair, I thank you very much for the time. How are we today?
Very good, mate. Thanks for having me on. I'll be looking forward to this.
Oh, thank you. I very much look forward to having you on, and I'm glad we're finally doing it. How is your, we were talking just before we started, how is your Friday treating you?
Fridays is always a good day, man. It's always good vibes in the gym. Have a lot of fun on Fridays. It's the end of the week for a lot of the guys. Also, we've got a few more training sessions over the weekend, but feel good Fridays is always the vibe. So yeah, had a really good day.
I'm very glad to hear it's going well and it's been a good day, and especially considering this is a return to middleweight. And so while some people would think that would be shit, I hope it's not too bad. How is it? How is it to be coming back down to middleweight?
It's been good actually. I move so well when I start cutting that weight down into the low 90s. When you put on weight, for anyone, it's just there's a lot more of you to move around, especially like the gap between middleweight and light heavyweight. You got a good 10 kilos there of extra mass to move around. So your fitness improves, your speed improves, your mobility improves. So it's been good. Yes, I'm eating a little bit less, but I work with a really good team. So I haven't even really noticed it yet. So maybe ask me fight a week. Might be a different answer.
I was gonna say, I'm glad we're doing this interview now before it gets too
Yeah.
bad. How big of a difference is it for you in terms of, is you at light heavyweight, middleweight Blair who doesn't cut, or are you actually like, how differently do you approach it?
That's a good question. Look, you can only put on so much mass or like functional mass in a short period of time. Like I jumped from middleweight to light heavyweight over a kind of full camp period. So the way that we approached it was just eating my calorie surplus the whole camp. And then of the week of, we just kind of went to a deficit or a maintenance to try and make that weight. So instead of sitting mid to high 90s and just kind of like just cruising there, all we're doing now is just getting to low 90s earlier in the camp. So apart from just honestly, when I'm at light heavyweight, it feels like my full-time job is eating, which sounds pretty good, but like when you're eating just like a kilo of rice and meat 4 or 5 times a day, it gets pretty old pretty quickly. So apart from eating a little bit less, like it's very much the same approach. It's when I'm at light heavyweight, I just want to hold that mass for a little bit longer. That's all the difference is.
Full Viking diet.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like that. Just eating. Every time I finish training, I've just got a whole bowl of food. I'm staring at the bottom of it, just waiting to fucking finish. Like, yeah, just having to put extra maple syrup or something in it to get the calories in. But yeah, we don't have that problem this time.
I was going to say that's a thing of the past, though, because this is, as I said, this is the return to middleweight. I asked
Yep.
you after your last win how you felt about it, either a return to middleweight or staying at light heavyweight. You kind of seemed unbothered about it. How did this opportunity come?
Yeah, it's it was just opportunity kind of presented itself. After that Sydney fight show, I tried to keep my mind open on what division to fight in because I understood I was booked. Well, pretty much the top end of the middleweight division was booked or had just fought. So the chances of me fighting one of the top guys was going to be a camp or two difference. I wanted to be as active as possible. So I left the option to fight over two different divisions to try and keep me active. Um, Blessing in disguise, I got a little bit more time between fights, and we're kind of hitting up Cam to try and get on that Logan Eternal card. Didn't happen. And he spoke to me that night. He goes, "Hey, we'll chat to you on Tuesday and we'll send you through some options." And pretty much Tuesday night, I got a call from my manager, Elliot. And he's like, "Hey, they've offered you the belt." And yeah, I'll see that you don't turn that down, that opportunity, especially when you've been working towards something like that. It just felt like the right time. Everything lined up. And I was like, it was a no brainer for me. So yeah, I left my opportunities open and I just waited for the right moment. And just this is what came to be.
Were you? I know you said that you were very open minded to what would be coming your way, but to cut, a return, it's a return to a weight class and into a title fight. Were you expecting a title opportunity to come kind of maybe this early?
Um, I think I've done everything right to deserve it. I think I've been the number one guy in the position to get a shot at it. So yes, I've worked my ass off to get to the position that when the call comes, I'm the man for it. So yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. It's just a matter of one, what Darcy's kind of ventures were, whether he was getting called up to contenders, UFC, because he's obviously at that threshold as well. What Cam and Ben Vickers had in store for the champion and what they kind of wanted. So yeah, when the opportunity came, it's obviously just open the door and make it happen.
You mentioned there the upcoming opponent, Darcy Vendy. I wanted to talk about him. But before we talk about him, I wanted to talk about some of the bodies you move around with. As you mentioned there, you're training out of the great Compton's MMA. And I feel like something that's really good at Compton is I feel like there's a good group of guys in your size. It might just be like my perspective because I'm in Victoria. I feel like the middleweight and up in Victoria is like there's one guy in the gym and then maybe he has like a bunch of welterweights to train with. I feel like there's a really good core group of bigger guys, middleweights around there at Compton's. Who are some of the people you've been mixing it up with this training camp?
Yeah, honestly, when I first started at Compton, I was the bigger guy, but I was also new to MMA. So we've got such a high level um, of fighters at that gym that's never been a problem. Over the years, we've got more and more guys like Jackson Weir White's been one of my main sparring partners for a long time, and he used to be a middleweight. And then we get the likes of John Martin Fraser, who's joined us in the last 12, 18 months, whatever that time frame's been. Um, yeah, and we've got a really good kind of system of bodies there, and we get people from other gyms drop in as well. So um, that being said, the guys that are small weight classes, you're looking at Tom Nolan, Don Marfan, like you're looking at the top end of their weight division who have so much skill, experience to offer us bigger guys as well, right? We move differently, but you can take even 10% of how they apply themselves. You're going to be a better fighter for it. So yeah, we've got some good bodies for this fight camp. We've been trying to get a few more in, but yeah, we've got a really good core group, like you said, and yeah, it's benefit having someone like John Martin Fraser, who's two-time former champion, but also fought Darcy Vendy, um, to be on my side and kind of give me tips and help and seeing where I stand in the world of MMA in the local scene as well, because he's been the top guy for so long. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and my team is the reason I'm in this position.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask you about. John Martin Fraser, teammate of yours, former opponent of Darcy. Has he given you any specific insights, tips, or anything?
He just told me to smash him. No, no specific insights. Obviously, he got a good feel of what Darcy's like in the cage and his experience. But I also think that Johnny and I fight completely. Don't shouldn't say completely, very different as well. He's very prominent and strong striker, but very different to how I strike as well. So obviously taking lessons and experience from how he handled it, what he thought in there, what he thought he could improve on, and applying that to myself. But every fight's different. That Darcy could come out completely different for this next fight as well. But all that experience adds up for sure. Having someone like Johnny, who's so willing to learn, but also share his knowledge. Yeah, it's definitely an advantage for me going into this fight.
How is it? How is Johnny? I understand, if I'm not mistaken, this is the end of the first week for him running Oasis. He is now a head coach out of his own gym. But I mean, I suppose it hasn't been maybe too different because this, as I said, this is the end of the first week. But has Johnny been able to come in a lot? Running your own gyms, it's its own whole bag of worms. How's it
Yeah,
been?
yeah, it's been good. But first of all, like, congrats to for him and his team opening that gym. He's in that business with a few friends, and they're all kind of sharing that workload as well. He's been really, really good. The fact that he's managing a newborn, he's looking after his family, his beautiful wife, and opening a gym and getting that started. He's also put a lot of time into my camp and the boys' camp as well. So yeah, that dude's an absolute workhorse, and he's been super awesome for him to put that effort in. Yeah, there's a few days here and there that he hasn't been able to come up because he's in Sunshine Coast, we're in Brisbane, so that's a good hour and a half, sometimes 2 hour drive that he's going to make on top of training, on top of everything else. But he's forked out that drive more than he hasn't. So and he's finding great success as well. That gym's going to be really good. So if you are in the Sunshine Coast region, I'll quickly plug it. Make sure you check out Oasis Gym.
Absolutely. It's very cool to see him doing that. And the man we've been talking about, your opponent, Darcy Vendy. What do you make of Darcy?
Darcy, I think he's awesome. Yeah, I think he's really, really good in a lot of different areas. He's deserved to be in the position that he is. He's worked his ass off. He has been around for a while as well. Actually, Darcy and I trained together 4 years ago, 2021, at a Team Compton event. So we've crossed paths, and we've always had a good chat and catch up at fight shows. So I got nothing but respect for him as a person and him as a fighter as well. And I think it's an awesome challenge for me to make my mark. And I set a goal for myself start of this year to cement myself as the number one dude to go to the next level. And he's the last guy in the puzzle for me to make that happen. So yeah, I'm keen to go in there and go to work with him.
Of course, people change and things evolve. So, training with him one time many moons ago is hardly going to be an indicator to who
100%.
you
Yeah.
are, who he is, and how a fight between you would go. But what was that session like? How much of it was crossing paths?
It was just it was an open day for Team Compton when they just moved into their new facility, and they had a collaboration with Combat at the time, and he was up for that seminar, and it was just kind of going through basic skills and stuff. So yeah, I can't speak too much of it. It's 4 years ago. I got a pretty bad memory, but yeah, but we've crossed paths over those years. So we're both very different fighters, very different people since then. Yeah, he's evolved into a really great guy and champion, and I'm keen to test myself at that level, which is awesome.
Something that really intrigues me about this fight, and yet again, this is from my perspective. I'm hardly, an MMA mind. Um, but Darcy to me seems like such a big guy, like a very, very physical dude. But then you remember that he started his career at welterweight and he's come up to middleweight. You're a guy who can fight at light heavyweight and he's kind of coming down to middleweight. What do you make of do you think there'll be much of a size difference? What do you think of maybe the physicality of this matchup?
Hmm. I think Darcy's a very athletic fighter. Like, he's got all the skill in the world to make it happen, but the fact he's so athletic and applies that size really, really well makes him a really intense and strategic fighter. I'm not looking at it as a size advantage. Like, yeah, I've moved up to light heavyweight. If he really wanted to, I'm sure he could as well. I'm not sitting there counting my chickens thinking, oh yeah, I'm bigger than him, I'm going to run over the top of him. That's not the strategy at all. I've got enough skill and things up my sleeve to get the job done. The size definitely isn't a matter. I think we're about the same height, same size, to be honest. Like, um, yeah, yeah, I don't take that into account at all. We'll see on the night how big he is, see how big I am.
If we're talking about John's matchup with Darcy, and then I guess it maybe kind of happened with Darcy a little bit with Matt Myers. I don't think it was as intense. There was a little bit of back and forth there, a little bit of nothing too ridiculous, but I don't necessarily think John and Darcy particularly got along. Matt and Darcy, they seemed kind of okay. You're a very respectful guy. You seem like a very happy guy. I was watching a lot of the other content that you've been making, which we'll talk about in a moment because I find it really cool. Um, But how do you kind of approach the fight? Some guys get really intense. You kind of seem very laid back.
Yeah, I've worked my ass off to get in that cage and do what I love. Like, at no point am I gonna seize up and get nervous or like think mean thoughts or anything like that. I love being in it. You can see me dancing when I'm in the cage. I'm making jokes with the ref. Like, I love that shit, man. Like, you're about to punch me in the face real fucking hard, and I'm gonna do the same thing. That excites me, man. That's what I've been working my ass off for months for. Like, let's go. But like you said, everyone's different. I know Johnny and Darcy had some beef for whatever reason. That's between them. I got nothing to do with that. I'm a fun dude. I fucking love what I do. If you need to make me the enemy to be a good fighter, go for it, man. Like, I'll have a beer with you after. I just love that shit. I have so much fun in there. Like, even the rounds with Cam Rouse, and he's choking me, he's doing all sorts of shit to me. Fuck, I was still laughing in between. With I'm looking at him like, let's go, man. This is exactly where I want to be. So you remember when you're in the cage, you got to look at that dude staring back at you, laughing, smiling, and you've just gone to war with him. Like, that's fucking pretty wild. You got to be messed up in the head to be that guy. So, yeah, I know. Darcy likes to be quite serious in there. Yeah, he's got to do what he's got to do, man. We'll have a good fight. We'll have a beer after, and yeah, we'll have a laugh over
Do you think you're messed up in the head?
it. You should maybe ask some of my friends, get a third party perspective of that. I feel like I'm pretty normal, but a few of my clients and friends might say otherwise. I think to be in this sport, not just do the sport, to like live this sport, live this dream, you got to be a little bit messed up. Like, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's a huge thing. Like, you have to be able to like silence the voices in your head every single day and find a reason to keep doing that. Like, every part of your being is telling you to stop doing what you're doing, and you're lying to yourself if that thought doesn't cross through your mind. You got to be a bit messed up to learn how to like push through that and keep showing up. Because if you learn to love that, embrace that, yeah, you deserve to be in there, because you just push yourself to a level that most people wouldn't. That's why people look up to fighters so much. Not just the physical side of it, just the mental push to just put yourself in harm's way and just keep pushing forward. It's exciting. People love that shit.
Was it always fighting for you?
At first thought, I say no. It's always just be a professional athlete. I've always been like talented and athletic to kind of pick up a sport and be good at it. But then on reflection, when I started doing martial arts when I was 14, 15, I just fell in love with martial arts, the skill side of it. And then you don't know if you're a fighter until you have your first few fights. And I always kept running back from it. It's all I ever thought about was just getting in there, pushing myself in that environment again. So I think I grew up thinking I was just an athlete, but as soon as I fell in love with this sport, I realized, oh, I'm truly a fighter in every aspect, right? I just want to be in there. I just want to push myself and be better, and just not just learn to fight in there, but that helps me fight all the demons and everything that comes at you in life outside the ring as well. So yeah, I've always just been a fighter.
Talking about always being a fighter, as you and I both know, and anyone who's been in the scene for long enough knows, Tapology never lies. It's never wrong. It's always gospel. There is no amateur career listed on your Tapology. Did you have an amateur career?
No, I went straight pro, man. On
How
5 weeks notice.
how does that even happen?
Opportunity and being a little bit messed up in the head. I guess we looped back to that answer, huh? There we go. We finally got there.
We got to the answer. How
uh,
how did this happen?
I guess long story short, I had some time off the sport traveling. I got back. I said to Elliot Compton, I started training at Team Compton. I'd love to fight again. It's all I've thought about for years. I just want to fight again. And he said, "Have you thought about MMA?" And I said, "No, but like I'll try anything. Let's go." A week later, he goes, "I've got a fight for you. It's on Beatdown Promotions. It's in 5 weeks. It's at light heavyweight, and it's professional. Junior Tougher just pulled out, and they need a fill in." And I said, "Fuck it, let's go." Like, this guy's a brown belt jiu-jitsu, had a bunch of Muay Thai fights. He's way bigger than me. And I said, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go." 5 weeks later, I get in there and I beat him in 38 seconds. And then I just went, "Cool, this is me from now on. This is my identity. This is what I'm about." So I fell in love for the sport during that camp, and obviously that fight as well. But yeah, just a bit mental in the head and just decided this is what I'm doing.
So what is that moment like where you like obviously the lead up and oh cool, I guess we're doing this. But you get in there and then yeah, you knock the guy out in less than a minute.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think that was one of my favorite fights because I was just doing this because I wanted to push myself and challenge myself to fight again. So there was no pressure to win or lose. I just went in there to achieve a goal that I'd set for years, and I just wanted to get back in that ring and fight and push myself. And when I got in there was zero stress. I didn't care if I got knocked out. I didn't care if I won. I didn't care if I lost. I was just happy to be in there. And when you dropped him 39, 38 seconds, whatever it was, yeah, flood of emotions. One, you've just achieved a goal that you've set for years, which for anyone's a quite emotional or exciting time. And then the adrenaline kicks, and I'm on the microphone doing my post fight interview, and my whole body is shaking. Like I don't know if I'm crying, I don't know if I'm going to throw up. I'm just thinking like, dude, you're a professional athlete. Like you just beat a dude in 30 seconds, and he's asking me questions, and my whole body's just shaking. I was like, oh, cool. All right, I can get used to this. And I guess you just fall in love with that the chemistry in your mind, then like that addiction to chasing that feeling all the time. It was surreal, and I've loved that moment ever since. It's one of my favorite fights. Just the build up, my mindset towards it, and the emotion towards it as well.
You say there you spoke to the Comptons and you were like, I want to fight again. What were you doing before you doing MMA?
Muay Thai. I did Muay Thai for since I was 14. My brother's a former multiple sorry, let me try that again. A former Australian Muay Thai champion, and he was doing it, and I wanted to train with my brother. He's almost 10 years older than me, so I just wanted to be like him. And I eventually started training with him at 14, and then I had like four amateur fights at 16, 17, 18, 19, something like that, and then just trained on and off until I was what 23, 24. Whenever I started MMA.
Was there any particular reason why you had that like time away? Sometimes life just gets in the way, but did anything specifically happen?
No, I left school. I obviously left school. You start working outside of school, and then I traveled overseas. I lived overseas in Canada for a few years as well. So travel, work, life. I was trained, still trained on and off, but I wouldn't say I was full time at it.
So when what drew you to MMA instead of going back to Muay Thai?
Well, when I first signed up at Compton, I was just doing the Muay Thai classes, and then he's like, they kind of noticed I had a bit of skill, and they're like, "Do you want to join the 10 a.m. pro class?" I was like, "Cool." And I was just doing those classes, and obviously they're all MMA fighters, and I was getting taken down, and just being a body for these guys that were pro fighters and up and comings. And yeah, I was just like, "Oh, cool." Then I'll just hit the ground and just tussle around a little bit, try and move around with them, having no idea what to do. Just a big old spazzy white belt. Um, and then just kind of kept doing that. And then obviously said to Elliot, "Look, I've been training. I'm keen. Whenever you think I'm ready, let's line up a Muay Thai fight." And he was the one that suggested, "Have you thought of MMA?" Because at that point, Compton was at the far end of the transition to MMA. They've been a Muay Thai gym and grappling gym for a long time, and becoming more and more prominent through the MMA scene in 2021, 2020, 2022. So yeah, he suggested it, and I said, "Well, yeah, either or. Let's make it happen." So that was the only reason that the transition to MMA happened. It was just I just wanted to fight.
First off, forever a white belt at heart, as we all are. Um, aren't you now the wrestling coach?
Oh no, no, don't say that. No, Don Marfan's a wrestling coach.
You
I,
take
I
a wrestling class though, don't you?
I have a bunch of clients. Like I have my own business, coaching business, and I teach a lot of wrestling through there. And some of my seminars, I'll teach MMA wrestling as well. Um, yeah, that's funny. Tell Dom. I'll tell Dom that I'm a new wrestling coach.
Sorry, it's the context I got from the vlogs.
Yeah, no. I teach it. Like I've got a lot of clients, and I teach classes to my clients in my business. And I'll teach quite a lot of wrestling and grappling around that. But yeah, no, not the Team Compton wrestling coach.
All right, well, you tell Dom that you're coming for that position. I'm sure he'll love to hear that.
After this fight, maybe I'll learn that right.
um, and something else I wanted to talk about. You mentioned earlier in this. Obviously, you're training out of Compton, Steve Compton, Elliot Compton. I asked Dom this before Road to UFC. How do you go with Elliot Compton being both a manager and a coach?
I think it's really really good because before he was manager, before he was a coach, he was a fighter at the highest level when the sport was still kind of growing at that point. Fighting international, some of the biggest names, and he's got such a legacy there. So he has walked miles in my shoes that I haven't even fulfilled yet. Like he knows where I can be, what I can do, um, and the challenges that are on that road too. So one, he's got that experience there too. As a coach, he wants the best for me, and that kind of reciprocates as a manager as well, right? Being transparent in the opportunities in front of me, but also giving me information that's going to help me make the right decisions. So, yeah, I think it's nothing but beneficial, to be honest. I get to train with him. He gets to push me, and as much as we keep the relationships together, there's obviously separation there as well. Like I talk to him as a coach, as a teammate, as a friend, and then I can talk to him as a manager outside that as well. We can separate and have a good enough relationship that we work through those things together.
And now talking outside of fighting, it's not all just violence with me. I mentioned just before the vlogs. You've got a bit,
Yes,
but you're doing a little bit of the social presence stuff, which I think is very cool. I enjoyed watching them before this. I enjoy the Instagram content. Why big on the socials and stuff?
I think I just understand the value of brand, of personal brand, and one, I get to document the journey. Like I truly believe in my goal and where I'm projected to. And why not document it? Why not look back at that and enjoy the ride and enjoy the good times while I'm living in them? The other thing is, I spent about 6 to 7 months researching videographers, social media, and different things to try and promote my business, but also my personal brand. And eventually, I found a really good videographer in Arnie, and we've been working together for just over 12 months now, and it's just kind of continually grown, and we've trial and error, and we've fallen into the YouTube channel now and using the long form to support our short form content. And it just helps people stay in tune with my journey, but also builds that personal brand as well. Like I think me as a person, just to talk highly of myself, I'm quite fun. I'm a cool, fucking fun person. People want to be around me. I don't know for what reason they want to do that, but why not bring people along for the journey, right? Like I always said, I want to get to the top of the mountain, but I don't want to be there by myself. Like come with me. Like come with me to the mountaintop. And that kind of attitude is what we brought into the YouTube channel. And it's been really really fun. It's hasn't really taken away from my training. It's been a really good addition, and the support that I've got from it from the Australian MMA scene on social media and on YouTube has been incredible as well. Like I think they can see that I'm not trying to be anything other than myself. I'm not putting on a show. I'm not trying to put on a character. I'm saying some real cringy, stupid shit, and I wish we edited it out sometimes. But that's what people love. I'm a human. I'm a real person, and you can see me achieve my dreams. And hopefully that motivates someone. Hopefully that motivates the next generation of fighter. Maybe they look back at it and be like, they take all those clips and make a real bad meme about me once I'm in the UFC. Like, whatever it might be, it's all worth it, man. I love that shit.
I one of the videos particularly I enjoyed was the new golf video that came out, I think about a week ago now or 2 weeks ago now. Are you a big golf guy?
I am. Yeah, I found golf a few years ago because all I was doing was spending 12 hours a day, 7 days a week in the gym. I didn't have a hobby. Now, that's not a bad thing. It was quite productive, but sometimes you need a mental reset so you can apply it yourself at a high intensity. And the hobby I chose was golf. And yeah, I just love it. It's a really good chance to kind of reset, just focus on what you're doing, kind of let the brain or your mind kind of run a little bit while you're walking around the golf course, and kind of work on the next bit of content, what the training schedule is going to be. Just give myself a chance to kind of actively meditate, if you will, on the golf course. And yeah, that YouTube episode was pretty much how do I bring a hobby that I love into the scene, and how do I bring other people into my scene as well. So we created Smack Talk, and pretty much it's just interviewing athletes, professional athletes, coaches, business people, anything that I can find relevance to, and just talk talk real with them. Like I don't want to really hear about all the good shit. I want to hear about how what they really do on the weekends, like why they built the brand, like what happened to them at the early days in their kind of career, and kind of really kind of break down. And golf's a really good way to do that. We're trial and erroring at the moment, so it's a bit of fun, and yeah, I get to play golf and get paid for it, so it's pretty good.
You don't seem half bad at golf either. How would you rate your golf skills?
Oh, depends on the day, man. Depends on the day. I could be really, really good, or in that video, I could be pretty bad. So, um, yeah, depends on the day.
I don't know if you are aware of this, as a man who trains out of Victoria is a welterweight, Sam Miles.
Yep,
Yeah, do you know about his relationship with golf?
I don't know.
He was going to be a pro golfer, and then he decided, I'm going to become a pro MMA fighter instead.
Yeah,
Maybe
poor
that could
choice.
be an episode.
Poor choice, man. Poor choice.
I know, right? Actually, from all the money to none of the money.
Yeah, dude, you had it in your hand. You had it in your hand, and you fucking threw it away.
You threw it away.
No, Sam Miles is a great fighter. I actually watched his last fight with Nate Law live at Logan. Um, yeah, maybe he's a really good guest to have on the channel. Then he can show me up in golf.
I was going to
Pretty
say,
cool.
maybe not the former ex semi-pro golfer. That might be a bit too
Nah,
intense.
I love the challenge. Bring it on. Let's go.
I think
I'll
that's
put
a
that on the list.
I think that's a perfect metaphor for who you are. Always ready to meet a challenge. Talking about a challenge, um, you've challenged. There's like a hill run challenge. You're trying to run as many hills as people are sending you. How is that going?
It's been good. It's been good. We've done two so far. I've been a bit slack on the filming of that, to be completely honest. But yeah, we put a post out to try and get people involved with my camp. And I thought it'd be a good idea to get people suggesting. And I've been messaging a bunch of those people, finding out about the hills. And I'm actually on the phone right now to my coach, organizing tomorrow's hill and trying to get that done. So I just thought it was a good way to try and get the Brisbane community and a few of my followers involved with my camp. And yeah, it's been good. I love hill sprints, to be honest. I actually love sprinting up hills for some reason. So yeah, we'll put a video up tomorrow's one.
See, there's definitely something wrong with you. If you like hill sprints, that's the test, bro. And we found out. We got our answer.
I would much prefer a hill sprint than like a stationary bike sprint. Fuck.
That's true. Assault
Yeah,
bike is awful.
yeah, true, true.
Uh, Finally, from me, Blair, I really do appreciate you giving me the time today. Not that it's not bad, it's not an issue in any way. I know me bringing this up might oh shit. Uh, Over your right shoulder, I'm going to assume there's like a flashing light. It's changing between
Oh,
purple and yellow. It's like under the
yeah.
stairs. What is that? What's going on back there?
So I just bought a house, or this house, in December last year. And when we
Congratulations.
moved in, we're like, oh, there's a little nook here, and I was going to set it up for my partner. It's her little office. And
Mhm.
there was a light above it. Like, oh, sweet, there's a light. We turned it on, and every kind of 30 seconds, a minute, it changes into like an infrared light. So I don't know what the last owner was growing in there, but it definitely looks sus. There's just a computer, there's no herbs or anything. Um, but yeah, it was a bit sus when we moved in. I'm like, I don't know what disco light they've got going, but yeah, good pickup.
That's pretty good. Maybe something to help with your recovery growing back there.
Maybe.
Talking about recovery and such, what does the rest of your time before fight day look like for you?
Rest of the time before fight day, what do you mean by that?
Like, fight day is in however many weeks. What does between now and then look like for you?
Yeah, well, we got one more massive week of training. Um, yeah, I like to take the workload down a little bit and increase the intensity to try and make sure that we're maintaining uninjured, and obviously refine a few skills as well. But main thing for me is just to stay healthy, stay ready. We've done a lot of the hard work leading up to this fight, so we've just got one more week to get it done. Make sure the game plan's intact, and then obviously fight week is to take that back a little bit, cut weight, get ready, and yeah, put a show on for the Australian MMA fans. It's an unreal card. I'm super excited to be headlining such a huge card, have such a great opponent, and get to showcase what I'm really about. Like Darcy's going to bring that out in me, and yeah, I'm so keen for that, man. I'm going to walk away with the belt, nice and high, super proud, and yeah, bring it home to all my friends and family.
Excellent, Blair. I thank you so much for the time. Best of luck in the fight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.